Okay, so here's a little secret for you and for anybody else that wants to learn an instrument, just about how attainable and achievable it really is to be a musician and learn an instrument, to become really proficient at it, right? Because even like, I've played the guitar for 17, 18 years or whatever, and that feeling never really goes away. I see people on this app that are like insane, world class shredder guitar players, who, could hang with any of the greats. And I just don't even know how you get to that level. Like, I feel like I've put thousands of hours into practicing and technique, and I just like still can't do the things that they do. And I'm working on it. But what I wanted to bring up is this thing called the Pareto principle. And it's the idea that 80% of the effect of something comes from 20% of the cause. Now, what that means in the context of practicing an instrument is, some people will call this the 80-20 rule too. But what that means is that if you spend 20% of the time that a great player does, like a really great player, you will be 80% of the way there. Now, I understand that that is maybe disheartening in some ways, because then it's like that final 20% to be the best of the best takes the other 80% of the time or the work that they put into it. And so it takes a lot of time to be at the top. But the good news is if you spend 20% of the time that they do practicing, in theory, right? If you have any inclination towards music at all, I think that this is the case. But if you spend 20% of the time that they do, you get to a level where you're like a functional musician, and you can write really good music, and you can play with bands and play with most people. And that's really where you want to be. I mean, the thing is, like, you can be the best player in the world. That doesn't mean that you're going to write music that anybody wants to listen to. Which is like me and my content and the music that I'm writing. I've got a bunch of songs that I'm working on. I'm really trying to like kick up the intensity of the productivity as far as like releasing music and making content. And I have all these plans and things I want to do, but I'm really trying to focus more on like the songwriting element of it, because I'm at a level now where I can write music, and I can write music that I like, and that other people hopefully will like. But I'm not ever probably gonna be one of these insane top level players. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that, because I want to dedicate that time that it would take to get there, if I could ever get there, in theory, right? More towards like writing music, I think. And so anyway, all that to say, you can totally do it if you just like consistently practice. Don't worry about spending 8 hours a day practicing. Like when I was a kid during the summer, I didn't have anything to do, and so that's just kind of how it was. But just spend like a half hour a day, 20 minutes a day working on some technique stuff, working on chords and changes and scales and things like that, and just like learn songs that you like. And like, I promise you can absolutely get to my level of playing. But I really appreciate you saying that. It makes me feel good that that anybody would see me as a player that they want to be able to play like someday. So I appreciate the compliment.